Hey, Carey, check this out. I brought this for the Tombstone show today.
I guess you could call that a gun. Check this out.
Yeah, I guess that one's nice, but get a look at this baby.
That's not big. This is big.
Ah, that's a puny one. This one's bigger.
Aw, that's cute. But you could shoot down Batman's airplane with this one.
And my self-esteem. Here we are with another episode of an hour feature presentation where we don't just love movies from the 80s and 90s.
We live them. I'm Carey Williams, and I've not yet begun to defile myself.
And I'm Josh Sanchez, and I'm in my prime.
Yeah, you look it.
Three brothers and a gambling gunslinger and failing health seek their fortunes in the lawless town of Tombstone. This next movie is
Tombstone.
What are you wearing?
It's my authentic Western wear.
Doesn't look authentic.
It was good enough for Clint Eastwood to save Doc Brown in.
Fair enough.
Tombstone was released December 25th, 1993 with a budget of $25 million. It went on to earn $6.4 million in its opening weekend and grossed $73.2 million.
That's pretty good. The film was shot primarily on location in Arizona. Shooting began in May 1993. The film was supposed to be screenwriter Kevin Jarre's first job as director, but he quickly was overwhelmed by the job, failing to get needed shots and falling behind the shooting schedule. A month into filming, he was fired by producer Andrew Vashna and replaced with George P. Costomos. Michael Bean, a close friend of Jarre, considered quitting.
Bean recalled feeling director Cosmatos had no understanding or appreciation of the screenplay. By the time of Cosmatos' arrival, though, all actors stayed on board. The new director brought a demanding, hard-nosed sensibility to the set, which led to conflicts with some of the crew members, most famously with cinematographer William Fraker. Meanwhile, Kurt Russell worked quickly with producer James Jacks to pare down Jarre's sprawling script, deleting subplots and emphasizing with the relationship between Wyatt and Doc.
Russell has stated that it was he and not Cosmatos who directed this film, as Jarre's departure led to the studio's request. Russell stated that Cosmatos was brought in as a ghost director as a frontman because Russell did not want to be known that he was directing. Co-star Val Kilmer has supported Russell's statement about working heavily behind the scenes and stating that Russell essentially directed the film but stopped short of saying that Russell did the actual directing. Bean stated that Russell never directed him personally.
Cosmatos was highly focused on accurate historical detail, including the costumes, props, customs, and scenery, to give them authenticity. All the mustaches in the movie were real except John Tenney's Sheriff Behan, who had to be clean-shaven for his prior project, and was thus the only fake mustache in the movie. Val Kilmer practiced for a long time on his quick-draw speed and gave the character a genteel southern accent.
That's so crazy. It's great. Yeah, the two locations were used to make the town of Tombstone bigger. The scene in which Wyatt throws an abusive car dealer, Billy Bob Thornton, out of the saloon was to show that Wyatt was a man who used psychology to intimidate. Thornton's lines in the scene were ad-lib, as he was only told to be a bully.
It's pretty impressive. He came up with some
really,
good lines.
really crazy. And now we're going to talk about our...
Gene Siskel and Roger Ebert of Siskel and Ebert originally thought that they would have to miss the reviewing of the film because they could not get a screening. But as Ebert explained, a strange thing started to happen. People started telling me they really liked Val Kilmer's performance in Tombstone, and I heard this everywhere I went. When you hear that once or twice, it's interesting. When you hear it a couple of dozen times, it's a trend. And when you read that Bill Clinton loved the performance, you figured you better catch up with the movie. Ultimately, Ebert recommended the movie, while Siskel did not.
It's just funny that they didn't get a chance to review it. But hearing all the buzz about Val Kilmer,
now they have a chance.
Now they have a chance. Oh yeah, they got it. They did a good job. It cracks me up. Ebert would later refer to Tombstone in future reviews, comparing it favorably to Kevin Costner's Wyatt Earp. It forced the comparisons upon me, and in his review of Wild Bill, singling out Val Kilmer's portrayal as the definitive saloon cowboy of our time, in his review of Kurt Russell's Dark Blue, he stated, "Every time I see Russell or Val Kilmer in a role, I'm reminded of their Tombstone, which got lost in the year-end holiday shuffle and never really got the recognition it deserved."
The line quoted by Doc at the end of the fight at the OK Corral is historically true and was reported in the Tombstone papers reporting the fight. When confronted by one of the cowboys at point-blank range, the cowboy reportedly said, "I got you now, Doc, you son of a bitch," to which Doc gleefully retorted, "You're a daisy if you do."
It's so great. Doc Holliday's wink to Billy Clanton just before the culmination of the OK Corral gunfight was completely improvised by Val Kilmer. But that wink, oh my gosh,
it's such an
it's
instigation.
So
he does
good
it, yeah,
because he's taunting. He's taunting. I mean, of course they had the altercation earlier. In 2020, Val Kilmer put an end to the long-standing Huckleberry debate. He claims the line really was written as I'm your Huckleberry in the script, meaning I'm your man, you've met your match. Kilmer set the record straight in his autobiography entitled, aptly enough, I'm your Huckleberry. Yeah.
The lawman Wyatt Earp's fifth cousin, Wyatt Earp, plays Billy Claiborne.
It's really, really crazy. William Dafoe was the original choice to play Doc Holliday, but Buena Vista refused to distribute the film if he was cast due to Dafoe's role in the controversial The Last Temptation of the Christ in 1988.
Kevin Costner was the first choice to play Wyatt Earp, but he turned it down in favor of his own cable miniseries about Earp, which eventually became the theatrical film Wyatt Earp in 1994. Both Costner and his producing partner, Jim Wilson, confirmed that their project would not interfere with Tombstone, but screenwriter Kevin Jarre was not confident as his Dracula script had already been shelved after Dracula, 1992, was greenlit.
Yep, and indeed, Tombstone had difficulty securing talent from Costner's agency, CAA, after his Earp project was announced. Wilson admitted there's no race, but because of the asinine mentality in this town, they won't let two pictures about Earp go forward. If I were a gambling man, I'd bet Tombstone doesn't go ahead. Ultimately, Tombstone was released 6 months before Wyatt Earp and was a critical commercial success, whereas Wyatt Earp was a failure. It's great.
Michael Biehn and Bill Paxton appeared in The Lords of Discipline in 1983, The Terminator in 1984, Aliens in 1986, and Navy SEALs in 1990. Yep. This was their fifth and final appearance on screen together.
So many movies together. Yep. Val Kilmer's line, I'm your Huckleberry, took on a life of its own and became something of a catchphrase for the actor, who used it in many of his subsequent films in ways not everyone would recognize. In The Saint in 1997, he speaks it in Czech. In Alexander 2004, he speaks it in Greek. And At First Sight in 1999, it's written in Braille in a book he's reading. And in The Red Planet in 2000, he speaks it in a Martian dialect created for the movie.
What I love is that those words even exist in all those languages,
so
and then,
crazy.
Of course, created for Martian.
Yes. Yep.
Mickey Rourke actually turned down the role of Johnny Ringo. I'm very happy with Micah Biehn in that.
Michael Jarre wanted Liam Neeson for the role of Wyatt Earp and David Bowie for the role of Doc Holliday.
Wild.
Jarre also considered Timothy Hutton for the role of Sheriff John Behan and Tommy Lee Jones for the role of Curly Bill.
And I wouldn't change a thing.
I wouldn't change a thing. So many great characters and actors.
Michael Douglas was considered for the role of Doc Holliday, a role previously played by his father, Kirk Douglas, in Gunfight at the OK Corral in 1957.
This movie, I think all of the characters and all the actors, because there's so many, in my opinion, so many A-list actors in this movie.
And they all they kill their part.
They all shine and they all bring it hard.
I'll be honest, real quick to interject, the only one that throws me off a little bit is Jason Priestley, and it's not because he doesn't do a good job, it's just he slightly takes me out of it because the only thing I really know him from is 90210.
Oh, okay.
So it's like just seeing that teeny bopper character in there.
I thought he was great in it because
he did a good job.
Because he brought something that was different in the movie,
Yes.
and he was like that character that he plays. I thought was great.
He's almost bullied by the Cowboys.
Yes,
basically.
it's exactly what it
Yes.
is. Exactly what it is.
He's like the underling that just kind of
Yes,
goes
that
along.
kind of goes along with it. And now let's talk about the cast. Of course, first up we have
Kurt Russell.
It's the man. It's the man. Go ahead.
He's from Used Cars, Escape from New York, The Thing, Best of Times, Big
Trouble
Trouble
in
in Little
Little
China,
China,
Overboard,
Tango
Tango
and
and Cash,
yes.
Backdraft,
Captain Ron,
Ron,
this movie,
Tombstone,
yep.
Forrest Gump as Elvis's voice uncredited,
Yep.
Stargate,
Yep.
Executive Decision, Escape from LA, Breakdown, and Soldier.
Love Soldier. And of course, next up we have Val Kilmer, who plays Doc Holliday. He's in Top Secret, Real Genius, Top Gun. He's in Willow. Oh, I love it. The Doors, True Romance, Batman Forever, Heat. Oh my gosh, I love Heat.
And just to point out real quick, he's also Elvis in True Romance. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
have two people that play Elvis in this movie
Yep.
side by
Yep.
side.
The Ghost and the Darkness, and of course another great movie that I love, The Saint. And of course, next up we have
Sam Elliott as Virgil Earp. He's in Mask. He's in Roadhouse, The Big Lebowski, and The
then
Hulk.
Yep. And then we have Bill Paxton, who plays Morgan Earp. He's in Stripes, Streets of Fire, The Terminator, Weird Science, Commando, Aliens. Oh, game over, man.
Game over.
Next of Kin, Navy SEALs, Predator 2, True Lies, Apollo 13, Twister, Titanic, and A Simple Plan. And next up we have
Powers Booth, who plays Curly Bill Brocious. He's in Red Dawn, Sudden Death, and Con Air.
And then we have Michael Biehn, who plays Johnny Ringo.
Johnny
I
Ringo.
love this. He's the Terminator. He's in the Terminator. He's in Aliens. As Hicks, he's in The Abyss. He's in Navy SEAls. He's in The Rock. This guy was like the dude's
Oh, man.
dude.
I
was
loved
the,
him.
He just like all his movies were just, oh my gosh, great. And of course, next up we have
Charlton Heston as Henry Hooker. He's in The Ten Commandments, Ben-Hur, Planet of the Apes, Soylent Green, Almost an Angel, Wayne's World 2, True Lies, Armageddon, and Any Given Sunday.
And then we have Jason Priestley, who plays Billy Breckenridge, The Boy Who Could Fly, Beverly Hills 90210, the TV show. And then we have
John Tenney as Behan. He's in Beverly Hills Cop 3, Lassie, the 1994 movie, Free Willy 2, and Fools Rush In.
And we have Stephen Lang, who plays Ike Clanton. He's in Manhunter, Project X, The Hard Way, and Gettysburg.
We have Thomas Hayden Church as Billy Clanton. It's Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, Wings, the TV show, George of the Jungle, 3,000 Miles to Graceland, another Elvis.
Yes.
And Monkey Bone.
And we have Dana Delaney, who plays Josephine Marcus. She's in House Sitter, Batman, Mask of the Phantasm. And of course we have
Paula Malcolmson is Allie Earp. She's in Dunstan Checks In and The Green Mile.
And then we have Michael Rooker, who plays Sherman McMasters, Above the Law, Days of Thunder, JFK, Cliffhanger, Mallrats, Meet Wally Sparks, The Bone Collector, Walking Dead TV show, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. And then we have
Harry Carey Jr. is Marshall Fred White. He's in Gremlins, Mask, Crossroads, Back to the Future 3, and Exorcist 3.
Then we have Billy Bob Thornton, who plays Johnny Tyler. He's in Going Overboard, Indecent Proposal, Sling Blade, Princess Mononoke, Armageddon, A Simple Plan.
We have a cameo by Wyatt Earp playing Billy Claiborne, and it's of course not the original Wyatt Earp, but it's his fifth cousin.
That's the real fifth cousin
Yep.
of the original Wyatt Earp. That's amazing. Now let's talk about the press kit.
We got the real deal here. It's got a great cover. It's
I
subtle,
love it.
but
love
it's
it.
very
I love the
it's
black
very
and
well
white.
done. I love it. It looks so cool. Love the folders.
Oh my
I can't
gosh.
help but
The-
enjoy
the
them.
The walk to the corral.
Yep.
That's what that is.
We have a Dear Editor, enclosed are the press materials on Hollywood Pictures' new motion picture Tombstone, rated R, which will be released on Saturday, December 25th. The review date for this film is Saturday, December 25th. Very best regards, Gary Frazier. Little letter. We don't usually get little letters like that.
that's really
It's
cool.
nice to have that. We have a nice little booklet about the movie. It's got the cast as always. We have the production information. We have the about the production section. We have more production information here. We have about the production. Not a lot of diversity in the naming of the sections of this one, isn't
about
it?
the production.
About the cast. Nice little write-up about all the cast is just amazing. Another about the cast.
Yep.
I don't know if they accidentally did it twice because it seems like it's the same characters again. Seems like it might be almost like a mystery. But
you just got a lot to say about the cast.
It's got a lot to say about the cast. You got to say it once, you got to say it twice. Have our little pamphlet of pictures here, and we have some great pictures.
Oh, yes.
We have multiple shots of Kurt Russell as Wyatt right here. We have upper shot here of Kurt Russell and Val Kilmer, and then we have the four walking to the OK Corral on the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
We have them on horseback riding to chase down the cowboys, and we have Doc both in the gunfight at the OK Corral and just standing there looking tough as ever on the third picture. We have the altercation between Johnny Ringo and Doc at the
Oriental.
At the Oriental. Mm-hmm. We have Wyatt on horseback firing off at the cowboys. We have Charlton Heston's featured there in the third picture. We have a nice little 6 grid here with Sam Elliott and several of the other actors. We don't have to list them all. And then we have some behind-the-scenes production shots here with the director.
Nice. Very nice.
Wonderful folder there.
Yep.
The song track has some songs of note. We have Le Dance Macabre with Camille Sains, if I'm butchering the name there. We have Red River Valley by Dana Delaney. We have Nocturne in E minor that Doc plays on the piano, written by Frédéric Chopin, which, as a child, I probably learned to pronounce that name from this movie.
Oh man, and there's so many scenes in this movie that stick out. The opening sequence, the black and white, and the explanation of like the little brief history was great. And at the very end, it's like over 100 exiled outlaws band together to form a ruthless gang recognized by their red sashes they wear. They emerge as the earliest example of organized crime in America. They call themselves the Cowboys.
And what's wild is when you think of cowboys, you don't think of organized crime.
Oh, no,
that's
not
what's
at
so
all.
funny about it, how that perspective of what a cowboy
Yep.
is has like dramatically changed.
Yes. And it's like you see this, you go from that, and then you see a group of cowboys wearing the red sash interrupting a wedding. And it's just like, oh man, these guys really are lawless. They are going to a wedding.
You're literally killing people at their own wedding.
Yes, and it's of course they kill everybody there and do horrible things. And then the priest is there, and he's giving like an omen, and of course it's go ahead.
What I find funny is the one cowboy who is a
Spanish
Hispanic,
speaker, yeah.
and it's like he misinterprets what he says, and then
Something about a horse is like that's not what he said.
and then Ringo corrects him.
Ringo corrects him because Ringo's educated.
Yes.
Yes, and it's just oh my gosh, he's the priest omen. Someone will come to avenge the foretelling, and it's like Johnny Ringo shoots the priest and then quotes what the priest actually said. It's from the Bible, and it's like, "Behold a pale horse. The man who sat on him was death, and hell followed with him."
And the other gentleman basically said he was talking crazy.
Yes. And then, of course, you immediately cut to the Earps, Wyatt, Morgan, and Virgil, and their wives arriving in Tombstone. And then you see...
It's like they haven't seen each other for a while, so they're just ecstatic to be reunited.
We're all doing this because they're retiring. We're here.
Live with my family.
It's about time we're doing this. We should have done this a long time ago. And, of course, you see Doc Holliday drunk and playing cards in Tombstone, and it's just oh man, and it's Wyatt meets the local law, and he's informed, hey, you're Wyatt Earp. I'm not in law.
I don't want nothing to do with any of this.
I'm retired, and it's like the Cowboys are in charge, and then he of course asks about the establishment that's across the street because there doesn't seem to be anybody in it, but it looks like a very nice place.
There's hustle and bustle everywhere else.
And he's like, "What's going on there?" No, you don't go in there. It's because there's always trouble in there. And he goes in to see what the problem is, and there's somebody in there basically at one of the playing tables, basically just being a bully.
Yeah, just being
He's
a
being
bully.
a bully to everybody, and of course, Wyatt, being the kind of person that he is and sees the opportunity, he kicks out Johnny Tyler from the Oriental Saloon, and in the process gains a stake in it. And it's like, it's nuts.
My favorite is directly after, he comes out and tells the others that what he has done, basically gaining the stake in it. Johnny Tyler comes strutting out with a shotgun.
With the shotgun,
Well,
yes.
they're just conversing. The brothers are conversing with Doc out there, and they pay him no mind. That's what's great about it. So, he's literally coming to attack them.
Yes. It's one of those. So this is before Doc is there. He's out there. Johnny Tyler's. He's coming with the shotgun. And as he's like within feet of Wyatt Earp.
Johnny Tyler!
And he's like, Doc,
I didn't know you was back in town.
You was back in town. And he's like, this is my friend here.
And then he finds out it's Wyatt Earp.
Yes, and he finds out it's Wyatt Earp, but they're having this conversation. He's standing there and is like, you may go.
They don't even look at him.
No, I know, but
leave the shotgun.
Leave the shotgun. And he
obeys. This person that's bullying everybody else in town.
Yes,
and Wyatt's not even making eye contact with him, paying him no mind at all.
And of course, we see the shooting in the theater.
They're trying to perform like these the performers are up there doing their stuff and they're just firing at them. My favorite part about that one is when Curly Bill says, because the one gentleman's making a deal with the devil and he's going to have to pay the consequences of the deal. And Curly looks there, he's like, I'll tell you what I'd do. I'd make that deal and I'd plug that little devil in the ass.
Of course, at the end of the theater performances, all the performers come out and they reveal that, of course, the person playing a devil, in fact, is a woman, and that's where the little bit of the
you get the sense of why it's a little Twitter-pated. We'll say
yes, and of course we go back the next day or whatever, and you're in the Oriental, and it's Wyatt meets some of the cowboys. And of course you find out that Maddie Earp has a drug addiction. She's constantly looking for, what was it, laudanum?
Laudanum, I do believe.
Yes, laudanum. And it's...
They saw what the cowboys are capable of, like, by observing, but then this is an interaction with them.
Yes, so they're in the Oriental, and of course... Ike tells them,
ain't no law here now, no law, dog.
Yes, and of course Curly wins 500 and tells...
Shut up, Ike!
Shut up, Ike. And of course, the altercation. This is where they Ringo and Doc finally win. Of course, after winning 500, Ringo looks at Doc.
You retired too?
You must be Doc Holliday. And Doc says, that's a rumor. And then Ringo says, you retired too? And Doc's response, not me. I'm in my prime.
And then Ringo goes, yeah, you look it. He's covered in sweat.
Oh my gosh, he's covered in sweat. And of course, the showboating between them. Because it's the whole...
Ringo's intense.
Yes.
He is like, I'm here to kill people. I look on his face all the time.
And it's like, he pulls out the gun and he's doing all the gunslinging stuff and he's really good. It's an amazing show that he puts on.
And I wouldn't say Doc's concerned, but he's attentive.
Oh, yes.
He's watching what he does.
He's watching.
He's laser focused
he's like,
on him.
This guy knows how to handle a gun. And it's one of those. And then he puts it down. And then,
but I feel like he doesn't want to escalate the situation either.
Yes.
So he diffuses
it by taking the cup that he's got in his hand.
Drinking at it.
And he uses it almost kind of as a comical mockery of...
Emulating exactly what he did.
And it's very like slow and comical.
People are confused at first, but then they start chuckling, including some of the cowboys.
Yes. And then at the end, of course, Ringo actually chuckles himself to diffuse the situation.
He's like, this guy's an idiot.
This guy's an idiot. He doesn't know. And it's like, and that's just amazing. That interaction is just amazing, of course. And then, of course, Wyatt falls for Josephine Marcus.
He says he's not going to.
He's not going to, and they go on this horseback ride, and then it's terrible.
Yeah, I'm an oak, he says, because that's what he tells Doctor.
Yeah,
it's like,
I'm an oak. It's exactly what he says. And then we see Curly Bill kills Marshal Fred White, and everyone in the town, you can hear it screaming, they shot the marshal, they killed the marshal, they killed him.
So and they come and arrest him.
Wyatt Earp comes out and arrests him.
Oh man, and that's the scene. I love the one line is ridiculous because Wyatt has his gun drawn at Ike.
Yep.
And because Ike's like basically like let him go kind of thing, and he tells Ike, you know what I mean, like you guys may take me down, but not before I make your head into a canoe.
Yes.
And then like everybody thinks he's bluffing, but Ike's like, nope, he ain't bluffing.
He ain't bluffing.
He's like,
he ain't
he'll
bluffing.
do it.
He'll do it. Yeah. And then Doc comes out, and so now it's
Oh,
two.
this is
now
a
it's
great
two.
line, too.
Now it's 2 on like 7 or 2 on like 8.
I believe it's Thomas Hayden Church's character
Yes.
says you can't even see
Because
straight.
because
you're seeing two
yes,
of them.
earlier in the movie, he's inside and Doc is playing on the piano. And the guy
He's
says,
always drinking.
He's always drinking, but he's playing. What is he playing? He's playing
Chopin.
He's playing. Yeah, he's playing, and he's playing this song, and it's a classical song. But Hayden Christensen, he comes over and he's like, "Why don't you play something like a little lively?" And he's like, "I'm playing."
Doc's annoyed.
He's like, "I'm playing what I'm playing."
Right.
Like, I mean, and he's like, "No, man," and he's like, get out of here, kind of like a get out of here thing. But it's the same guy that's outside. So Doc comes out and he points his gun right at him and says, because Wyatt Earp says you'll be first, and then Doc says, and you're next.
Yes.
You music lover are next is the line, and he's like, you're so drunk. You're probably seeing two of me, and he pulls out his gun. I got 2 guns, one for each of you. And that's when the brothers show up.
Oh my goodness!
And the rest of them just disperse, and it's amazing. And of course, Virgil, because he sees the lawlessness, he becomes the marshal and attempts to achieve law and order.
He sees a woman that has a scarred face.
Yes, and the kids.
He's ashamed.
Yeah.
He even tells Wyatt, he's like, I gotta look people in the eye in this town.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And he's
he's
ashamed that he's not doing
He's making
things
money
to make it right. Yeah,
he's
of their misery.
The misery, yeah, and the town ordinance, no guns in town, and then you finally hear the truth about Wyatt Earp only ever being in one gunfight. That is insane.
Because they trump him up to be this legendary
It's the legend,
like,
yes,
gunslinger.
yes,
you know what I mean?
yes,
So
yes.
his legend just grew and grew.
Mm-hmm. And then of course the Orient, Wyatt walks in and sees Miss Marcus again, and it's that whole thing. And then Doc has been sitting there. They say, we got to get Doc out of here. He's
36 hours.
He's been sitting here for 36 hours. And they say, Doc, you need to go. And
He's
says,
barely like propping himself up.
Barely, and of course his woman's there. And it's like, and the line that he says, I haven't begun to defile myself. And of course, he wins at the card game that he's playing.
Irritating Ike.
And they say 12 straight hands in a row. And then it's like, dude, you won 12 straight hands in a row. And he looks over at the guy he's playing. Was it Ike?
He was like, maybe
poker's not your game. I know.
Let's have a spelling contest.
Oh my gosh. And of course, Ike gets arrested for making threats. And then there's the whole confrontation. And they're outside, they're arresting him, and oh man, one of the young cowboys
he's
comes
puffing up his chest.
He's puffing up his chest. He's like, yeah, and he pulls up his shirt, and there's a gun there, but you're not supposed to have guns in town.
So fast.
And Wyatt, so fast, grabs that gun and just whacks the kid in the head. Oh, so
and he stumbles
quick.
backwards.
Yes.
He is dazed.
And that's when they know they're all standing. Well, the cowboys go away, but they're standing there, the brothers and Doc, and they're saying, a fight is coming.
Yeah. They've instigated them to that at that point. You know, like even though they're just defending, the law basically, the Cowboys are now mad and they're gonna.
Fight is coming. So he says, "You better swear me in." And then they're all, they see the Cowboys later on ride in on horseback, and someone says they're all hanging out at a lot behind the OK Corral, and this is the famous battle
shootout at the OK Corral,
and they're. Doc comes down and says, they're gunning for us, and you see the 4 of them, the walk, and it's like, there's the fire there in the background, the ominous music, the panning, the kids, bang, 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 and they're
it scares them all, because they're tense, they're ready for,
they're ready.
They're shoot at what's happening.
Yes, and Wyatt says, how the hell do we get ourselves into this? And it's insane, and of course, Sheriff Behan comes running up to says, I already disarmed him, and of course, it's
he's
not
lying.
True, he's lying. And, it's like they go down there and it's the showdown and they're all standing there.
They're like splashing water on their face because they're like a little hungover.
Yep. And they've had a long, hot, hard day. But they're all standing there because they see, okay, it's what, the 5 of them? It's the three brothers. It's the four of them plus.
I'm not sure how many cowboys there were.
So
honestly.
we don't know how many. So however many were there, and it's the tense moments, and they're all readying themselves,
Yes.
and of course, they're all looking, and Doc.
It's like cutting to all the different eyes.
And then Doc, the little wink that he gives, and it just sets off the music lover.
It's the third. It's the third instance.
It's the third instance.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the third time that he's set him off.
So
and
he's
it's
like
just-
now that, and then Wyatt reacts because he can tell just from
he
that
says,
instigation.
No, yes, yep.
And
He
he's like,
sees
"Oh,
it. He
no."
sees it, and that's where they start shooting out, and that's where that line that we read earlier, that where they're fighting, and he's, I got you now, Doc, and he says, You're
a daisy if you do.
and just the sheer insanity of that line.
It's so good.
And that scene is just crazy. And then at the end, when it's all said and done, of course, Behan comes out and says, all of you are under arrest.
And Wyatt, well, I don't think Wyatt, does he even look at him kind of like he did with Johnny Tyler? Or is he just staring off? And
He looks at him and he says, I don't think I'll let you arrest us
today,
today, Behan, and which is amazing. Of course, and then we see the funeral of all the cowboys that just died.
They say they were murdered.
Yes, and they have signs, they have banners,
Murdered in the streets
murdered
of
in the streets,
Tombstone.
killing someone, when he admits, Virgil, it's one of them says killing
Morgan.
someone. It says killing someone
younger brother.
isn't what they thought it was going to be like.
And Wyatt warned him. That,
Yep.
You know what I mean? It's not what you think. And Morgan's like, you're right, Wyatt. You know.
Yep. And then, of course, later on, Ringo is on the street drunk, and he challenges Wyatt because of what just happened.
He's belligerently drunk,
yes.
too.
And then the line, he says, I'm challenging you, and he's like, we're not going to fight you. And Doc steps out and says, I'll be your Huckleberry. It's the line, of course, I'm your Huckleberry. And then, of course, Ringo says, all right, Lunger, I'll put you out of your misery. And Doc, say when. And, of course, they stop it immediately.
Curly Bill and like the others kind of
like,
just grab, he's just drunk.
He's drunk. He's just drunk. And then, of course, he's yelling and screaming as they take him away. And then, of course, the Cowboys, they do some pretty shady stuff. They're already shady, but they do some even...
They take it to a level
Yes.
that actually... It makes some of the other members decide that they don't want to be associated with that anymore.
Yes, they go and they shoot up the house where the wives are,
and
like
that's not something that's at least a standard that most even the considered bad guys won't do.
Yep. And Virgil walks back because he goes. They're all playing in the arena. Stumbles in, and they realize that he's been shot. And then as Wyatt walks out, McMasters rides up. And him and with Creek Johnson and Texas Jack, they renounce the Cowboys right there.
Yes,
they're like, look,
not anymore.
We don't want anything to do with this. We heard they shot up your women. We are not. This is not us. We're done. Mm-hmm. We're done with it. And they even say, if you ever need any help, you call us.
Yes.
And of course, they end up calling him later on. And of course, Morgan later on.
So quickly after, it's not even that far. It's not even a couple minutes later.
It's a couple minutes later in the movie. We don't know how long of a span it was between this what happens and when they actually get in. But Morgan gets shot. He's playing pool and he gets shot. And the scene where he's on the pool table,
Virgil loses access to his arm, but it's fatal for Morgan.
Yes,
it's fatal, and they're both dramatic scenes because they're screaming and the same doctor's trying to work on both of them. And they're bleeding. There's women crying and screaming. The dog's barking. He's like, "Shut that damn dog up!"
Yep, it is intense.
And then they have that moment where him and Morgan are basically having a last heart to heart, and he says, I don't see nothing. You know what I mean? Like basically telling him, that he's dying and he doesn't see anything, and it's devastating to Wyatt.
Yep, and then of course Wyatt runs out because he is grieving, and he sees Miss Marcus, and she runs towards him, but he rebuffs her because he's
Get away from me!
Yeah, get away from me! And in that moment, he turns to his wife, and his wife she
has a look of betrayal.
Yeah, and his wife just walks away, and it's very sad. And of course, the caravan out. Wyatt stops the caravan with them because they're leaving the town, and they're in front of the Cowboys, and Curly Bill says, bye. And Johnny Ringo, you smell that? Smells like someone died. And they say, it's over. It's finished. We're done.
He just whips the horses, and you just head forward.
And of course, as they're going off, of course, He says, take Stillwell and finish it. He says to one of his cowboy guys, take Stillwell and finish it.
And they think that they're going to jump them when they're getting on their train, but basically Wyatt and the others are prepared.
They're prepared.
And they turn the tables and they take all of them out, except for Ike gets away.
Yeah, he's there. He is there with McMasters and Texas Jack and the other guy. The three guys who announced the Cowboys. He is there with them, and of course he opens up his jacket and he has got a United States Marshal badge. He's got his badge on him. Right?
He basically, that's when he berates Ike and tells him,
the Cowboys are finished. I see a red sash. I killed the person wearing it. That's no.
And Ike's a pretty cowardly character.
Yes.
Like every time he's actually faced with real, pushback, he crumples every time.
Yep. He says the Cowboys are finished. I see a red sash. I killed a person wearing it. Tell the others the law is coming. You tell them I'm coming and hell's coming with me. Hell is coming with me. And then we have so many just gun montage here of just so many.
Just hunting them. There's like one where he's going to get an opium pipe and he puts one of their guns in their mouth.
One of the guns in their mouth. It's in a tent, yes, and of course
on horseback.
They're in the hotel, and of course it's one of the former cowboys with Doc. Then they storm this hotel and they say nobody move, and Doc. Nonsense. By all means, move. Oh my gosh, the lines this guy dropped. Yes. It's amazing. And of course, the creek battle is one of the most insane gunfights.
Because they're kind of pinned down.
They're pinned down, so they know that they're there. They almost have
like a high ground scenario.
Wyatt Earp are there, and they know that they're there at the creek, so they go to confront them. So they're down and they're kind of sneaking in, and it's like they get caught in a crossfire because they're across the creek, and then there's a couple people behind them. And Wyatt is stuck behind a log, and they're all pinned down, and it's like there's no hope. They're basically going to get shot up. And Wyatt he gets up and starts shouting, no.
And he just keeps walking forward,
he's shooting, and he walks out.
Curly Bill's in the center of
and Curly Bill, he sees like, oh man, I'm about to get this guy. And so he walks out.
Doesn't he go, look at that.
And it is insane. Because he's out there and he's shooting and he finally gets him. He finally gets Curly Bill. And when he gets him, Doc Holliday joins him. He's there with them in the creek and they're shooting. And then McMasters comes out and Texas Jack comes out. And then they're all, they're all there. They're all there in the water shooting. And then the aftermath, it's all done. It's quiet. And this is insane. He says to him, this is Texas Jack. Did you ever see anything like that before? And
hell, I ain't even heard
anything like that. Nothing. And McMasters, he says, where is he? Because he's talking about they're all there. And Doc is laying on the ground. And he says, down by the creek, walking on water.
Because they're talking about Wyatt like he's like,
yeah. And then there's a little bit of back and forth. And they say he's looking for revenge. And then Doc corrects him. It's not revenge he's after. It's a reckoning. And then Doc is coughing. And they say, dude, you're sick. You should be in bed. And why are you doing this? And Doc's response, Wyatt is my friend. And then their response is, I got lots of friends.
I don't.
Doc says, I don't. That is just, oh man. Of course, they go to the ranch and Doc is sick in bed. And of course, Wyatt wants to go meet Ringo and they tell him where he is.
And he's worried.
In this conversation, because Doc tells him, like, dude, you're not good enough to be.
Well, yeah, like he basically admits
enough.
it. You know, what I mean, like
he's gonna kill you. You're not good enough. And he's like, I can do it, but I can't. He tries to get up, but he's too sick. So Wyatt goes, and they tell him where is he, and they say he's up the creek away. And then they cut to where Ringo is standing, and there's somebody walking out from behind.
Can't see him right away.
You can't see who he is, and of course, Ringo.
He thinks it's
He's
Wyatt.
like, you showed up, and it's the line again. I'm your Huckleberry. And Ringo sees it, and he's shocked. He says, my fight's not with you. And Doc says, I beg to differ. We started a game we never got to finish. Play for blood, remember? And Ringo says, I was just fooling about, Doc.
Because he's slightly nervous.
Yes, and Doc, I wasn't. And the look that he has in his face.
He gets like a madness look on his face.Ringo, and I think that's kind of what hinders him. He's got that madness then, like
and
the
Doc
bloodlust.
is straight faced, and the look, and he says, "This time it's legal," and he shows him the badge, and then Ringo's like, "All right, Lunger, let's do this," and of course they circle, say when. And then he shoots him. You're no Daisy. You're no Daisy.
Come on! He tells him to like walk towards him. And he fires into the ground a couple times.
He shoots him in the head.
Right in the head.
Right in the head. And that's.
And he stumbles forward a few times, firing into the ground.
Yep. And then of course he collapses. Poor soul, you were just too high strung.
But he tells him, "You're no Daisy. You're no Daisy at all." As he's marching.
Yep. And it says, "I'm afraid the strain was much more than he could bear." And man, it says, it's just.
It's
Wyatt comes up and sees what happened because he heard the gunshot, and he sees Ringo laying there, and of course Doc turns around thinking, okay, maybe it's a cowboy.
Wyatt's bewildered but relieved.
Yes,
I feel like.
Yes, and then he says to Wyatt, Doc says, "I wasn't quite as sick as I made out." And then Wyatt, of course, picks up the badge that Doc has placed on Ringo, and then Doc's line, "My hypocrisy goes only so far." Oh my gosh. And then, of course, Wyatt says, "All right, let's do this. Let's finish it." And then Doc's response, "Indeed, sir. The last charge of Wyatt Earp and his immortals." And of course, we have a great montage of them
horseback, just firing them down.
So many
cowboys. One of the last ones is Ike surrendering.
Yes,
finally, he takes his red sash off and
throws it off.
Yes, because this is how many interactions where he's
gosh.
defeated, but he runs away, and that's the final one.
He's like, I renounce the Cowboys, and of course we see Doc in the hospital bed, and Wyatt visits Doc, and he's, "Hello, Wyatt," and then
it alludes that he's been doing that, like he's been visiting him.
And he says, "Father Keeney and I were just investigating the mysteries of the Church of Rome. It appears my hypocrisy knows no bounds." The lines and the delivery is just fantastic, and of course they're playing cards, and he's like, "How you feeling?" Wyatt says, "How you feeling?" Is I'm dying. And it's like, and then Wyatt, I'm the same. He's like, "I'm the same. I'm not dying, but I'm the same as I've been." And he says, "Now we can add self-pity to your list of frailties."
Your list of frailties.
And of course they have the talk. It's like, all right, you found this precious thing in your life. Go after her. Yeah. And it's like, I just want to have a normal life. Yeah. Wyatt says, "I want to have a normal," and Doc says, "Look, there is no such thing as a normal life. There is no normal life. There's just life. Leave now, please." And
he doesn't want him to come back. It's heartbreaking. You can tell that Wyatt's defeated by that. Like it crushes him.
Yep. Doc asks him to leave, not to come back, and of course we see Wyatt go and with Josephine, and they're dancing in the snow, and that's how the movie ends. And it's, I mean,
it has the narration indicating about his passing, and man, it's just like, it's unfortunate Doc had to go that way. And
I mean, he was very, very sick, and doctors weren't great back then.
They were basically barbers and doctors and multiple hat, wearing fellows. It's like, "I'll give you a shave and try to save your life." What can I do you for? Need a tonic? Shave? Tooth pulled? Limb removed?
Nah, how do you do, Doc? I'm feeling okay. I just need a little pick-me-up before my gunfight later.
Got something to do the trick. We just got this in. You ever heard of cocaine? It come from way down south.
I never heard of that, but that's awfully rootin' tootin' kind of you, Doc. Thank you kindly. I'm gonna go have to blow some holes in that feller.
Excuse me, Doc. My wife's having some real problems sleeping at night, and I don't know what to do.
I got just what she needs. Give her a little bit of this laudanum. You won't hear a peep from her till morning.
Thanks, you, Doc. You're a real lifesaver.
Ain't nobody gonna stay up after some of that. What can I do for you, fella?
My wife says I'm real ugly. Got anything to make me purty?
Well, I ain't got nothing to fix up that mug of yours, but I can foggy up her eyesight.
Oh, that's great, Doc.
There you go. I'm pretty sure she won't care what you look like after a nice dose of this. Careful not too much, though, else she won't be waking up at all.
Oh, Doc, that's real great. I sure do get tired of her complaining about looking at this.
I don't blame the girl. I'd want to splash the old tonic myself if I had to stare at that when I got home. Tell the old gal to let me know when she needs a refill. Maybe come get a shave and a haircut more often. She might think you're dapper.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
Thanks, Doc.
Wait a minute, hold up a second, that ain't right. Let me see those.
Oh.
Thanks, Doc.
You're
Thanks,
welcome,
Doc.
have a good day. Oh wait, that ain't right. Don't worry, I'm a mortician too.
Well, I guess that's really how it was like.
I think that fella's sampling too much of the medicine.
Oh man, it's just insane. I mean, this movie to me, I liked westerns growing up. I was a fan of like the Clint Eastwood movies, like the Man with No Name series, A Few Dollars More, and, that whole thing, all those movies. I love those movies. But this being more of a modern Western, and the way it was produced and the way it was directed, and the all-star
cast and the acting that they do in it
is amazing. I didn't think I would love a Western this much.
That's the thing about it for me is like I'm not as big of a Western guy as you are.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie I can watch countless times. And every time I watch it, it gives you that tingle of like out those special parts. Like, oh God, that's just so amazing, that section. So it just really speaks to how intense and absolutely terrific this movie is, that somebody's not even a big Western guy can want to repeat watch this movie over and over and still just equally just be blown away by the the presence that these actors bring to the screen.
Yep, exactly. And of course, our favorite character, we both agreed, is Doc Holliday.
Doc Holliday,
he
and then
shines in an all-star cast of shining stars, and
every performance is great.
A-list actors, so many actors in this movie. You have somebody like Doc Holliday, who is an A-list actor himself, being able to put on a performance that is head and shoulders above the rest.
He just pushes it so hard.
He stands out so much more. And the portrayal of everybody else,
there's nothing bad about anything that anyone else has done.
Everybody else,
he just takes it to 11 when everybody else is at 10.
The Ike cowering and that actor's portrayal of him, and the curly bill, and this like
Ringo,
and just like we're gonna get these guys kind of, and then Ringo, oh my gosh, Ringo's character, and all of them.
I think one of the biggest things about Doc is that he's not rattled as much as the others.
Yes.
He's always like, this is my thought on this. I'm not going to get terrified. I'm going to stand my ground kind of person in every situation that he's in.
Yep.
And Val Kilmer just crushes it. So along with our character, Val Kilmer's the actor.
He's the actor. He is definitely actor.
Here is your silver star, your gold star for this. Yes. I mean,
platinum star.
You're platinum. You guys all get gold stars, and Val gets a platinum one.
Star. It is just insane. And I mean, some of the things we love about the movies, of course, are the props. And so let's go talk.
We have the wonderful logo, which is a great logo for the movie.
Good. And of course we have some of the tapes,
VHS and the DVD and the Blu-ray, and it recently came out on 4K finally. And my goodness, I had a hard time getting this 4K Steelbook. It's one of those things where my wife was kind enough to pre-order it right away, and it was so over-purchased that they tried to cancel our order 3 times.
Wow.
They send a thing and they're like, hey, are you sure you want this? And the release date came and went and they kept delaying it. They kept delaying it. And we're like, no, we want the movie. And they finally sent it to us. And we're like, oh, thank goodness, because it's one of those ones that it was short printed, even though the popularity.
Yeah.
And then they're being, sold on eBay for 3 times the price now.
Yeah. All right, the amazing props.
You can't have a proper Western movie without
the armaments.
Yes, and aside from the doctor's elements here from our barber doctor, and for him weighing out his little tonics, we have a variety of weaponry that Josh and I decided we were going to one up each other with at the beginning.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
And then of course. The most ridiculous of all.
Oh man!
You can either win a gunfight or you can shoot down Batman's airplane with this one. Like the Joker.
Oh man, these are all so great. I just love.
Besides looking good, they even have movable parts.
Some of them have action. Yeah, some of them have some action on them.
Josh was like, I want a few guns for the episode, and Amy's like, hold my beer.
Thank you, Amy. It's amazing how much you just and I'm always trying not to put work on you guys, and it's just like with the Stargate DHD, I was like, oh my gosh, that's crazy, and I was like, I just want a couple of guns, and then I see this, and we're
just as excited for it as you are, and we just sometimes she goes overboard.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Well.
It's our first Western, but it's also probably both of our favorite one as well.
And really great movie.
I love when we're both equally excited about a movie. Sometimes one of them's your pick, and I like it, but maybe not quite as much, and vice versa. This is one where I feel like we were both just amped up for this one to do it and talk about it.
This is one of my all-time favorite movies. Not even in Western category.
Just period.
Just period. One of my all-time favorite movies. Again, the cast amazing, everything amazing, the directing amazing,
so good.
The sets amazing, the props, costumes, everything, dialogue.
I have no complaints.
Yep, no complaints. Yep.
I'm Carey Williams, and thank you for coming and watching with us again. And my compatriot in arms.
I'm Josh Sanchez, and we will uphold the law for you. So, with the fringe there, and thank you for watching another episode of Our Feature Presentation. Come back and watch us again.
Have a good one.